everybody, it's Angie from Trips with Angie, and today we are talking about bucket list cruise itineraries. So if you're tired of the Caribbean and the Bahamas, or you really want to explore somewhere new and interesting, I'm gonna go through what I think are some epic cruise itineraries to try out. So first up is the Panama Canal. So this is great if you've been to the Caribbean, but you want to try something new, but you don't want to deal with flying over an ocean. You can explore Panama Canal on a round trip sailing from South Florida. So you start in Fort Lauderdale, you end in Fort Lauderdale, and you get to go through one lock of the Panama Canal. But then here's the tip. There is an excursion where you board a ferry boat and that takes you all the way to the Pacific Ocean, and then you come back on a bus. So you get the best of both worlds. You get to see a new lock, you get to see old locks, and you are round trip from a port in Florida. But the big sort of more epic adventure on the Panama Canal is to sail all the way through on your cruise ship. Now I recommend heading west because the time change is a little bit easier. You're losing an hour every day instead of gaining one. So it means when you go to bed, you set your clocks back instead of forward. Now another canal that it would be exciting to sail through, at least for me, is the Suez Canal. This is in the Middle East. It could be exciting. Parts of the world you have to sail through to get there might have pirates, and it's totally different than the Panama Canal. Other epic adventures are the poles. So heading to Antarctica, you definitely want to include South Georgia Island on that itinerary. You want to head through all of the Antarctic, exploring the huge glaciers, icebergs, animals. This is definitely one for animal lovers. There's also the other pole. So heading up to the Arctic as you search in quest of polar bears, because that's right, polar bears are only in the Arctic. You can also explore the Northwest Passage. This is a famed explorer's route that takes you along the top of the world into Canada. So for those of you intrepid explorers who don't mind the cold, or at least don't mind putting on several layers to combat the cold, the Antarctic, the Arctic, and Northwest Passages are great options. Also, if you love animals, the Amazon is going to be a terrific choice. Now, the Amazon River, you can access it from both Brazil. So you could head down the east coast of South America on a cruise heading into Brazil. Now, the Brazil can accommodate larger ships. So you may find some of the luxury cruise lines go in and actually onto the Amazon River, so providing you more amenities on your Amazon journey, or you can access the Amazon River from Peru. Now those are going to be much smaller, flat barge type vessels with not quite as many amenities, but still a wonderful experience. Or you can just go around the entire west coast of South America. Sometimes you might get lucky and find a cruise that goes all the way around the entire continent. Those are very rare and usually repositioning. Or there's options that take you along the west coast, and while you're on the west coast, don't miss Galapagos. So the Galapagos Islands are incredible for animal lovers. Animals never faced humans as a predator, so they get very close to you. There's incredible snorkeling, bird watching, interacting with tortoises and all kinds of different animals. Celebrity Cruise Lines offers an option here, but it's usually very, very small vessels because it is limited by the Ecuadorian government how many people can access the islands in order to protect them. Now, as you're heading west, if you want to explore some of those blue water and tropical breezes, you definitely want to head to Hawaii and Polynesia, and some cruises like this one include both. So you can start in Hawaii and end in Sydney, sailing through the South Pacific, enjoying all those beautiful views that make brochures, or the movie Couples Retreat, if you've seen it. I think that's inspired quite a few vacations. And when you're down in Australia, you definitely don't want to miss fjords. So we saw the Chilean fjords on the western coast of South America cruise, and now you can see the fjords on one of these epic journeys around Australia and New Zealand. And we definitely don't want to leave out Africa. There are cruises to Africa that might be surprising to some folks. It was surprising to me. You can just do Southern Africa, so South Africa and Namibia. You can cruise along the eastern coast if you wanted to pick up Kenya and Tanzania. And then you can also find cruises that head to Morocco if you want to explore Morocco. Now there are some cruises that stop in Egypt, but it's usually the eastern side of Egypt, so you wouldn't be able to access the pyramid. And last but not least, if you have the time, how about a world cruise? Now, Viking put out this incredible longitudinal world cruise itinerary that uses one of their small expedition ships to start at the very top of North America, come through rivers, down the coast, all the way down to the tip of South America. But the more traditional world cruise routes are going to take you latitudinally, so starting in North America, ending in Australia, or doing all the way around the world. So what do you think? Have you been on any of these epic adventures? What was it like?